Welcome to Cheetah Secrets. Let's dive into today's story. People say trust is the backbone of a marriage. For 8 years, I believe that without question. I trusted Lisa with my heart, my children, and every part of my life. And yet here I am, sifting through the ruins of a life I thought was solid. Our downfall didn't begin with explosive arguments or obvious signs of betrayal. It started with one conversation, one moment, that spiraled into something I never imagined possible. One night, while we were lying in bed, Lisa turned to me with a look I've now grown to fear. A strange mix of excitement, hesitation, and determination. She cleared her throat. "Tom," she said carefully, uncertainty woven through her voice, "our neighbors, Mark and Jenna, they invited us to a party this weekend." "Oh, really?" I muttered, barely glancing up from my phone. She paused, clearly choosing her next words. "Yeah, but it's not just any party." I finally looked at her, sensing something wasn't right. "What kind of party?" Her answer felt like a punch to the gut. "A swingers' party." I let out a laugh, certain she was joking. But she didn't even crack a smile. "You're not serious," I said, sitting up straight. "Why not?" she shot back. "We've been stuck in a routine, Tom. Don't you think trying something new could be fun?" I stared at her, stunned. "Lisa, do you hear what you're saying? You're talking about sleeping with other people." She folded her arms, irritation flickering in her eyes. "It doesn't mean anything. It's just an experience. Mark and Jenna swear it made their marriage stronger." "I don't give a damn about Mark and Jenna," I snapped. "I'm not interested. That's the end of it." But it wasn't the end. Over the next few days, she kept bringing it up while I was unloading groceries, scrolling my phone, watching TV. "Just think about it, Tom," she begged. "It's one night. That's all I'm asking." The more I refused, the more persistent she became. By Thursday night, she dropped the act of compromise completely. "I'm going," she announced while I was tucking Emma into bed. Her voice was sharp, rebellious. I followed her into the living room and shut the door. "You're going?" "Yes," she replied firmly. "Why don't you just come too? It'll be fun." "What about Emma and Ben?" I asked, trying to hold myself together. "We'll hire a babysitter. It's not a big deal." "It is a big deal," I said, raising my voice. "You think this insanity is good for us?" "Yes, I do," she snapped. "You're so uptight, Tom. It's just one night. If you weren't so closed off, maybe it would help us." "Help us?" I laughed bitterly. "Help us how?" "By watching you with another man." She rolled her eyes. "Stop being dramatic." My heart was pounding. Every word she said felt like a blow. Finally, I said the thing that had been sitting heavy inside me. "I'm not going. And if you insist on doing this, we're done. I'll file for divorce." Her eyes widened, but instead of reconsidering, she doubled down. "You'd end our marriage over one night? That's pathetic." "No," I said quietly. "You're ending it by even wanting this." She scoffed, shaking her head like I was the unreasonable one. I didn't speak after that. Silence swallowed the room while my thoughts raced. Divorce. The word had hovered at the edge of my mind all week, but now it felt painfully real. The woman standing in front of me wasn't the Lisa I married. She felt like a stranger. Then she broke the silence with a tone that sounded almost mocking. "Oh, come on, Tom. It'll be fun. If you're that hung up about it, I'll record it for you. You can watch it later and see it's no big deal." Her words slapped the air out of my lungs. "You'd what?" I choked out. "I'll record it," she repeated casually, shrugging. "Maybe it'll even excite you." I was speechless. Who even says something like that? But then, beneath the shock and anger, something cold and strategic slipped into my mind. If she was reckless enough to film herself cheating, that would be undeniable proof, evidence in court, evidence that would secure custody, the house, everything. I forced my expression to relax. "Oh, fine," I said flatly. "If you want to record it, go ahead." She narrowed her eyes. "Just like that? What happened to all the shouting? The divorce threats?" I shrugged, pretending I didn't care. If it matters that much to you, do whatever you want. Record it. I'm not stopping you. She stuttered me, then slowly nodded. Fine. I'm going. Don't worry, Tom. I'll enjoy myself. I didn't reply. She walked away, and a strange calm settled over me. That night, lying in bed, her words kept replaying in my head. Record the whole thing. I couldn't wrap my mind around it. Not only was she eager to be with another man, she wanted to film it like it was some harmless joke. But if she insisted on destroying our marriage for a night of fun, then she would face every consequence of that decision. When the night of the party arrived, she practically glowed as she got ready. A tight black dress hugged her figure, and she slipped into heels she hadn't worn in years. She barely glanced my way as she snatched her purse. I'll be home late, she said, heading toward the door. Don't forget your camera, I muttered, unable to resist a little jab. She shot me a sharp glare but didn't reply. And then she was gone. The moment the door clicked shut, I sprang into action. I called my mom, explaining the situation in vague terms, asking if she could watch Emma and Ben for the weekend. Thankfully, she didn't press for details. I quickly packed the kids' bags and dropped them off at her place within the hour. Back home, I poured myself a stiff drink and sank into silence. I imagined every moment of what Lisa might be doing. Anger and betrayal churned in my stomach, but I forced myself to stay composed. This was temporary. By tomorrow, I'd have the proof I needed to finally start cutting her out of my life. The next morning, Lisa walked into the house around 10 a.m., looking disturbingly self-satisfied. Her hair was messy, makeup smudged, and her dress wrinkled from the night before, but there was a triumphant gleam in her eyes that made my stomach turn. She dropped her purse on the counter and leaned against it, grinning at me like she hadn't just shredded our marriage. Well, she asked, raising an eyebrow. I stared at her blankly. Well, what? She prompted, pulling her phone out of her bag. I recorded it, she said, holding the device like it was a trophy. All the evidence you need that it wasn't a big deal. Go ahead. Watch it. Her casual tone and smug attitude made my blood boil. I didn't trust myself to respond, so I grabbed the phone and walked toward the stays. Wait, where are the kids? She called after me, glancing around the quiet house. They're with my mom, I replied without stopping. I didn't want them to witness her chaos. Her mouth opened in protest, then she rolled her eyes. God, you're so dramatic. They wouldn't even notice. I didn't answer. I climbed the stays, jaw tight, heart pounding. Once in our bedroom, I plugged her phone into my laptop and began transferring the files. My hands shook as I opened the folder, the weight of what I was about to witness pressing down on me. A part of me still clung to the hope that this was some absurd, misguided joke, but as the videos loaded, that hope was shattered. Each clip was worse than the last. Laughter, intimacy, the complete disregard for me and the life we'd built. It was all laid bare before my eyes. By the time I finished, I felt hollow. Every trace of doubt was gone. This wasn't just betrayal. It was a mockery of everything we had shared. Yet, amidst the pain, there was clarity. This was the end. I copied the files onto a secure drive, ensuring I had every piece of evidence. Taking a steadying breath, I walked back downstairs. Lisa was lounging on the couch, scrolling through her phone as if nothing had happened. I held out her device. She took it with a smug smile, clearly misjudging my expression. I hope it was worth it, I said, my voice low and icy. Her smile faltered. Confusion flickered across her face. What do you mean? You'll see soon enough, I said, turning away. I didn't wait to watch her reaction. Instead, I went to the kitchen, poured myself another drink, and sat at the table, staring at the wall. My mind was already racing. Tomorrow, I'd call a lawyer. Tomorrow, I'd start reclaiming my life. The next morning, I made the call. By the end of the week, I had met with a lawyer, reviewed my options, and filed for divorce. The videos Lisa had proudly handed me gave me complete leverage, securing custody of Emma and Ben and ensuring a favorable financial settlement. At first, Lisa didn't take it seriously. You're overreacting, Tom, she said when I served the papers. This is just impulsive. Calm down. No, Lisa, I replied firmly. This is me being done. With the kids already staying at my mom's, I packed a few things and joined them, leaving the chaos behind. It felt like the only safe space for all of us, a place where we could finally breathe. In the days that followed, it became clear that Lisa hadn't accepted what she'd done. Her confidence faltered, and she began calling at odd hours, pleading for me to reconsider. One evening, she even showed up at my mom's, desperate to see the kids. "Let me in, Tom," she begged, tears streaking her face. "I made a mistake. I was trying to fix things, not ruin them." "You ruined them the moment you walked out that door," I said, blocking her path. "Now leave." The divorce process was brutal, as I had anticipated, but the videos proved to be a game-changer. Lisa's lawyer tried arguing that the swinger party had been consensual and mutually agreed upon, but my lawyer dismantled that claim quickly. In the end, the judge ruled in my favor. I received full custody of Emma and Ben, and Lisa walked away with far less than she had hoped for. I moved into a modest apartment to start over. Lisa remained in the house we once shared, but it had lost its warmth, and she lost much of the life we had built together. Months later, I ran into Mark, the neighbor who hosted the party. We crossed paths at a store, and he looked uneasy. "I didn't know Lisa would go that far," he admitted, avoiding my gaze. I raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" He hesitated, then sighed. "She didn't just sleep with one guy, she was with 3. I felt my stomach drop. 3. I whispered. He nodded. "I thought you should know." "Sorry, man." I walked away, mind racing. I thought I knew the extent of her betrayal, but this was beyond anything I imagined. Looking back, I am thankful for one thing. I discovered who Lisa really was before wasting any more years on her. Rebuilding my life wasn't easy, but I did it for myself and my children. As for Lisa, last I heard, she was still in our old neighborhood, but her reputation was ruined. Sleeping with half the party doesn't exactly earn you friends. Thank you for watching.